Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. I'm here. Today we are going to tell a ghost story for you. So, keep watching. In today's ghost story, the bus that never arrives. This happened to me 2 winters ago, and to this day, I still struggle to put it into words. It's one of those memories that never fades. You can try to bury it, to convince yourself it was just your imagination. But deep down, it wasn't. At that time, I had just enrolled in evening tuition classes. My final exams were approaching, and I needed all the extra preparation I could manage. The classes were helpful, but they ended late. Sometimes close to 10 o'clock at night. By then, the streets in my town would already be growing quiet. Shops closed their shutters early in the winter, and the cold kept most people indoors. Still, I had my routine. After class, I'd walk straight to the bus stop at the end of the high street and catch the number 47 bus home. It was reliable, it always came around 10. That particular night, my class ended earlier than usual. I remember feeling relieved, thinking I'd be home in time for a warm dinner. I reached a stop just after 9:30. The stop was deserted. No chatter, no footsteps, not even the usual stray cats that prowled the bins nearby. The only light came from a single street lamp that buzzed faintly, flickering every so often. It gave the entire street a sickly yellow glow. I sat on the cold metal bench and pulled my coat tighter. At first, everything seemed normal. I scrolled through my phone, glanced up every so often to check the road, but the minutes dragged on. The air grew colder. The road remained empty. By 10 o'clock, the bus still hadn't arrived. I felt a prickle of unease. The kind that crawls up your neck when something doesn't feel quite right. The number 47 had never been this late. I kept glancing around. The high street should have had a few late-night stragglers. A couple coming out of a restaurant. A cyclist heading home. The occasional car. But there was nothing. Not a single sound except for the distant hum of the lamp. The silence was so heavy it felt unnatural, like the world itself was holding its breath. Just as I was about to give up and walk home, I heard it. The faint hiss of brakes in the distance. Relief washed over me. Finally, the bus was coming. Headlights glowed faintly down the street. They grew brighter, nearer. The outline of the bus appeared, gliding along the road with unnatural smoothness. But almost immediately, something about it made my stomach twist. The bus was too dark. Its windows were black, as though the inside was unlit. The streetlights should have reflected passengers, seats, movement. But I saw nothing, only shadows shifting unnaturally, as if something was alive in there but didn't want to be seen. When it pulled up in front of me, the doors opened with a long, metallic screech. The sound grated against my ears, echoing far too loudly for an empty street. I froze. I couldn't bring myself to step forward, because now I could see inside. The bus was filled with people, or at least what looked like people. They sat perfectly still in their seats, each head turned towards me. Their faces were pale, almost gray, their eyes wide and glassy. None of them blinked. Their lips twitched into faint, frozen smiles. It was as though they'd been waiting just for me. I wanted to scream, but my throat tightened. My body screamed at me to run, yet my legs felt like lead. Then, from the dark interior, a voice floated out. It wasn't loud. In fact, it was almost a whisper, but I heard it clearly, as though it had been spoken right into my ear. "Get in!" My blood ran cold. The voice didn't sound human. It was distorted, stretched, like someone speaking underwater. The words echoed unnaturally, repeating in my skull long after they'd been spoken. I stumbled back. My instincts screamed that if I stepped onto that bus, I would never come back. That was when I noticed the driver. At first, the seat had been empty. I was sure of it. But now a figure sat hunched over the wheel. His hands gripped it tightly, knuckles bone white. His face was hidden in the shadows, but his mouth was visible. A grin that stretched impossibly wide, stretching far beyond what a human face should allow. "Last stop," he whispered. And as soon as he said it, the passengers inside leaned forward in unison, their pale faces pressing against the glass, their smiles widening to match his. The air around me dropped in temperature so sharply that I could see my breath. The shadows inside the bus began to writhe, crawling along the seats, reaching towards the open door. That broke me out of my paralysis. I turned and ran. I didn't look back. I sprinted down the street, my footsteps echoing unnaturally loud in the silence. The cold tore through my lungs. Every few steps, I thought I heard the hiss of brakes behind me, growing closer. When I finally reached the main road near my neighborhood, the sound stopped. The street was alive again. Cars passed, dogs barked in the distance. A group of teenagers laughed on the corner. The world had returned to normal. I collapsed against a wall, shaking. 4 weeks after, I avoided the bus altogether. Primera wale quedo me, no matter how late or how far. Later, I heard something from an elderly neighbor. She told me that many years ago, long before I was born, a number 47 bus had crashed on a snowy night. The driver had lost control near the very stretch of road where I waited. The bus had tipped into a ditch, trapping everyone inside. No one survived. Since then, she told me, people had whispered about seeing the bus again on cold, quiet nights. Always late, always empty, until you step closer. And once you step inside, you never come back. Even now, whenever I walk past that stop, I can't shake the feeling that if I turned at the wrong moment, I'd see headlights in the distance, gliding closer, slowing down, and I know the bus would stop for me, because it's still waiting. That's all for today's story. If you like it, please leave a like and subscribe. If you have a good scary story, you can also share it with us in the comments section. We'll read the best ones on the channel. Thanks for watching. See you next time.